Hello everybody! Welcome back to another Shadowverse Worlds Beyond video. And today we are going to cover none other than the freshly revealed, the freshly teased, and the long-awaited set 4, which is going to be Skybound Dragons. Yeah, it's kind of insane. Like, everybody knew it was gonna be a GBF collab with all the teasers that they did on Twitter and everything, and also on YouTube. If you were paying attention on the thumbnail that they uploaded, it had the grand cipher on it, so everyone was going, oh, it's GBF, it's GBF, finally it's GBF. And there you have it, we have Skybound Dragons. I thought it was gonna be the Evokers or the Eternals, but we actually didn't get that. We instead got like the 6 dragons, and I'm actually very excited about this collab because I have seen this like characters in Granblue versus, but not every single dragon was in the game. This time around, every single dragon will be in the game, right? So if you guys don't know which are the 6 dragons, like it's Wilnas, WAMDUS, Galleon, Eriar, Luwo, and Fediel. I've been waiting for so long, specifically for WAMDUS to finally be in a game, right? In a form of a collab that's not GBF, because I play GBF a lot myself. So this is kind of exciting to me. The thing that's kind of not exciting for me though, of course, is the fact that you know how it is with leader gacha, right? So they're offering us like a pack where you get 4,000 crystals and a random leader from the 6 dragons, which means you can get shafted. So I wasn't very excited about that, though I was excited like for everything else that they announced. So we're gonna talk about that today. And before we continue, let us watch real quick, or for me, rewatch, I guess, the Skybound Dragons trailer because it's really hype. And if you haven't watched it, I urge you to watch it or watch it through this video. So yeah, take a look at it real quick.
An azure cradle of all existence. The skies are at once fragile and ephemeral. And it is we, the wedges, who rise to anchor it. Nature incarnate, unsullied by any force. Unwavering in our resolve. Unbound to convention. Forever evolving. We are sentinels, with the power of the world itself. So come what may. Be it a cunning evil seeking to taint the skies, or a crushing despair hoping to sow chaos. Skyfarer, fear not what lies ahead. For the 6 dragons shall forever stand at your side. Shadowverse, worlds beyond. Skybound Dragons.
Woo! Kills!
We are the foundation of the skies.
Alright, so yeah, it's coming October 29. It's so hype. Alright, like even though I watched it already, rewatching it just gives me goosebumps, dude. Because yeah, like I've been waiting for this GBF collab for so long. And it's actually one of the reasons why I picked up Shadowverse in the first place, because like I initially fell in love with GBF like through Relink. So yeah. And of course, we have Belial, right? If you guys know Belial, like from GVF and GVF Granblue versus Rising, right? He's also gonna be in a game in a form of a leader and a card. We're gonna talk about the cards later, right? And also Bubs. Bubs is gonna be a portal leader, and like Belial is going to be an abyss leader. That's kind of hype, right? Like to people that don't care or don't know about GBF, they probably aren't as interested. But to anybody that has played GBF or like at least Relink, right? Like you probably would be really hype about this, right? So yeah, we're gonna like talk about the cards in a bit, but before we do that, let's take a look at the stuff that they had announced because yeah, I'm basically gonna summarize, like just skim through the things that they like talked about. They talked about a bunch of stats of the cards as always, right? Like just like every single live stream. They also talked about like some evolved cards and all that, but this is the things that we probably care about since like you guys are probably playing Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. Like we have like collab dungeons, so more PvE events, right? Which will be rewarded like it seems like we're gonna be rewarded some sleeves and some like profile icons. So that's kind of hype, right? More free stuff. We have a battle fest that's gonna feature Vern, Lyria, and Dancho, Gran, and Cheetah. All right, so if you guys don't know, by the way, this time around they kind of fixed the battle fest. Right now, the battle fest they will reward you based on what team you chose instead of like who quote unquote like won, right? So that's really nice. The battle fest is still gonna be a battle fest, but of course, like you like it's not like back then where people hated that because you know who won even though like majority was on Team Fenny, right? Of course, we have like a login bonus, just like every like every new set or every event that they do a login bonus. We have a bunch of tickets here and the 6 dragons sleeves, so that's kind of nice, right? We also have a weekend lobby event, which it's gonna have Dragon Knights as the sleeves this time around. So if you guys don't know, Dragon Knights is also from GBF. You have like Lancelot, Siegfried, like Vayne, right, and Percival, right? Like their card is kind of different now based on Shadowverse 1. Of course, I'm not gonna talk about that yet, but yeah, I'm just like really hyped about that. Really nice. We have some like rank. We have some like rank like or take two rewards basically by just playing the game as well for during that during November this time around, right? And then another guild chest which is gonna be on December. So yeah, they have a bunch of stuff planned out for this this like a new set, and yeah, I'm really thrilled for it. All right, so on top of all of that, like in the GBF collab, we're also gonna get a new stage. And the thing that I really like about this new stage is the BGM. Take a listen to it.
OK やろうか
絶望を与えてやろう。
Wow. Like the guitar, right? I'm just saying the guitar seems kind of hype. So yeah, it's really hype for me. I know it's gonna be a banger BGM right away. And we haven't even heard the entire track yet. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And before we go to the cards, like let's take a look see at the stuff that we'll get with the cosmetics, because we're gonna get Belial, Bills Bubs, and Zeta as the leader, as I showed you earlier. But I'm just gonna show you guys like Zeta for now because I bet like Zeta is gonna be like the most sought after leader, which is very nice that we got them as a battle pass skin. So let's take a look at it.
Try not to disappoint me. Good for you. That's totally unfair. Come on, our best.
All right. So we also got Zeta as a leader, and like Zeta's card is also very interesting. Like in Shadowverse 1, she was one of my favorite like swordcraft like cards. And yeah, like it's really hype, right? That's really hype. Hope you guys are hyped as well. And with that said, we will now proceed to look at the cards. So the cards that they revealed like 10 cards. So let's start with Forestcraft. So first off, let's go with Kupitan. Kupitan Funfair SSBA, right? There's like a Skybound art and a Super Skybound art. So if you guys don't know how the mechanic works, basically whenever a turn passes by, it adds to the count of SBA, right? If the SBA count goes to 10, you unlock the SBA, without the super. And then if you get to 15, you get super SBA, which you're like, oh, how do I get that number up, right? With just like turns. That's gonna be way too slow. Simple. Whenever a unit evolves, this count gets increased by 1. So any card that can evolve itself, or any card that can proc multiple evolves at in one turn or with just one card, it will be really strong. Like, remember cards like Hinicar, right? Like cards like Gildaria, they will add to the SBA count if you manage to pull them off. Like Olivia will count towards 2 evolves because it evolves another, super evolves another card on the field. And speaking of Olivia synergies, Kupitan, it actually works well with Olivia as a board removal. So as you can see, right, she can get free super evolve when you get 15 SBA, and when you evolve her, right, since it has the keyword when this follower evolves, you can cheat this by evolving with Olivia or evolving with Reina, right? So suddenly those cards will be of use to activate this, similar to Mukan, right? So that's really nice. We also, of course, will have more cards that will synergize with the evolving cards. So we're gonna see a lot of evolving this set, which is kind of funny. I thought that was gonna be Infinity Evolve, but yeah, right. Kubiton, when this follower evolves, does this 7 times, deal 1 damage a random enemy follower. So it's kind of like a better Amatas for if you're talking about the effects of it. Right, 4 mana 3/2, the stat line isn't that good, right? But she has very big board removal and very big reasons to add to your deck. Anyways, we love Kupitan. Sugoi Dekai. Swordcraft next, we have Zeta. Funfair, summon a Zeta and Bea, Crimson, and Blue. So this is gonna be the typical, wow, 2 lesbians in a card, right? We have Aningrea, we have Gen Yuzu, right? We have Valneric plus Valneric, Rulenya. Now we have Zaya and Beta, right? So in Shadowverse 1, this used to be a 6 mana card that gave you that gave you a copy of Bane in your hand. Now they combine it into 1 card instead, where the enhanced effect is giving one copy Bane, and then another a copy Storm, right? So one both will have Rush, as you can see, right? It's 4 mana 3/2. So it's kind of like the dog, the dog, the 3 mana 4/2 Rush dog, and then when you enhance 6 it summons 3 of them. This is kind of like the legendary version of that. One attack less, but it has the ability to gain Storm on enhance 6, and you also only get 2 copies of it. So less value for board removal, more value for pushing face damage. So yeah, this deck, this card is just gonna be a generally good card, right? But I don't think that it's gonna be anything super duper broken compared to what we already have. Right. Yeah, I do think it will be a staple because turn 4 cards, 4 mana cards for sword is really really strong already. That the area where they kind of lack, I think, especially if you don't have Gildar in your deck, is the 6 mana slot. So typically your strongest play on 6 mana is like Valsi 6, right? Zaya and Beta will add to that, right? Because you're probably going to be able to evolve 1, so that's 5 damage to the face. Instead of having ambush, you can just straight up do damage, right? Speaking of cards though that may be broken, Knightly Ardor, right? So this is kind of like the Dragon Knights, right, of this set. It has 4 choices. It's a mode spell, 5 mana gold card. Number 1, give the leftmost allied Swordcraft follower in the field can attack 2 times per turn. Right. Number 2 is give all allied Swordcraft followers on the field +1/+1 and barrier. All right. And third is recover 2 play points and 1 evolution point. And the last one is restore 6 defense. So the amount of flexibility this card has is insane. It can be used defensively and offensively. You can play for value, or you can play to push face damage. Now, what combos will be good with this card is very, very straightforward. So first off, Kagemitsu. All right. If you like summon Kagemitsu and then it dies in a manner where it will respawn during super evolve phase, you're gonna be able to do Albert damage on turn 7. Because if you super evolve like Kagemitsu, right, it becomes like a 5/5 storm, right? If you give it the mode can attack 2 times per turn, Kagemitsu is already 10 damage. And you just add a boot to that, right? Like one of the loot cards, you just add the +1/+1 to that, and suddenly you have 12 damage on turn 7, right? And the funny part is you can boot him twice and deal 14 on turn 7. So the aggro possibilities for that Kagemitsu and Ardor synergy is right there. Of course, it's not gonna be as consistent as just slamming Albert turn 9, but yeah, like the potential of just being able to deal like that much damage in one turn is kind of insane. So you're always on your toes against like a sword with this card existing now. And not only are you're probably gonna want to ward every like turn the moment super evolve phase starts against them. There's also this second choice where give all allied Sorga followers in the field +1/+1 barrier. So if somebody plays, let's say, Luminous Magus or Zirconia, if the board sticks, they could punish hard, and not only that, they could make it hard for you to clear straight up. And for 10 mana, you can do the Luminous Magus combo, right, and buff the entire board as well alongside that. So the Amelia plus Luminous Magus combo, it's an 8 mana turn where you do Amelia, but you need a super evolve for that. You can do that without a super evolve this time around. Right, of course you won't have the 7/7 body, but of course you don't need a super evolve for that one, which is really nice. Yeah, like this is obviously for defensive options, maybe against Forest Roach, stuff like that. Right, and of course being able to recover play points and evolution point means that you might be able to play for value whenever in your those grindy matches. And lastly, restore 6 HP. I mean, like, it's self-explanatory. 6 HP, really like a good amount of healing for when you are the one getting pressured. Being able to use this card, maybe you use a card that can clear the board at a lower mana cost, maybe a Fildo evolve, and then you use this card for 7 mana. You may maybe you can catch a break like in the middle of somebody's like pressure applying on you. Yeah. So yeah, really flexible card, can be used in many ways. I think this will be a staple, straight up a staple. Now, let's go to Runecraft. They actually revealed one of the cutest characters like GBF has. Of course, they're not gonna forget Cagliostro. 4 mana, 5/3 legendary fanfare, gain 2 Earth Sigils. And then add an Ars Magna to your hand. So Ars Magna is a 1 mana, deal 2 damage anywhere, meaning it can go face. And it also restore 1 to your leader. So that's kind of insane, yeah? Right. The SBA will be a self-evolve, right? In the SSBA, you'll gain a crest. And then the crest will be at the start of your turn, like Earthright 1, add another Ars Magna to your hand. So this is probably going to be a burn, like a Earthright, like a deck. So that's really nice because like the problem I have with this card is more so I think it's gonna be more staple than spell boost than like not like Earthright, like just like every variation, right? Like they add a Earthright like card and then spell boost is the one who benefits from it more. But this time around, I do think this is a good like a solution for the lack of reach that Earthright Rune has. Play up because I actually climbed to Ultimate with Rune recently using the Earthright deck, and I can say for sure that you might be able to have better late game situations with this card, right? And one of the things that this enables, as you guys probably know already, Turn 4, Cagliostro, you gain 2 Earth Sigils, and then you coin Norman on turn 5. You don't need any setup. The only setup is just playing Cagliostro straight up. Just play Cagliostro, and then you coin Norman turn 5, and then you have the double barrier again. There's not a lot of cards that give you a body and then like give you like 2 Earth Sigils at once. I do think Perfumer might be better for clearing, yeah, than Cagliostro, but the fact that you can heal with Ars Magna is also pretty good. Also, of course, 1 mana, 2 damage is not bad. Anyways, next card will be Alchemic Flare. So if you guys don't know who this character is, it's Clarice, right? They're also gonna have some alt arts actually, so that's pretty cool. Select an enemy follower in the field and deal with it for damage. Gain an Earth Sigil, 2 mana, 4 damage, and gain Dirt. Easily a staple for both archetypes. Easily a staple for both Spell Boost and Earth Rate. 2 mana, 4 damage is super insane value. So it kills like anything, like maybe the 4 mana, like all the 4 mana 4/4s die. Right? The 4 mana 4/4, the Abyss card, 4 mana 4/4, right? Like Remy, like maybe somebody plays a Marvin, like on curve, like there's a bunch of 4/4s, or like maybe they on Crest, maybe they play a Grimnir, it dies, right? There, or like the 3 mana 1/4 card, that's a ward, that's really annoying. So this card is just a guarantee kill anything on, it's like Valse almost, yeah? It's almost like Valse. The only thing this can't kill is literally Fighter on turn 4, which is insane, right? And it also has an SBA effect that can deal 2 damage to the enemy leader. So it can even add damage for situations where you're just missing that little oomph, right? Where you can, maybe you do a dimension climb and then you're missing 2 damage for little. This can also add towards that for finishing a game. So yeah, like, hey, Rune is eating, that's for sure. Rune is eating once again. And I mean, WAMDUS is gonna be a Rune leader, so I'm not complaining, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, next up we have Dragon, we have Meg. So Meg has a really nice evolve art, by the way. I really like this. This is how evolve art should look like, right? Like a really, really different like style the moment you evolve them, and then like obviously an upgraded version of the thing. So fun fact, SBA super evolve this follower, so it's a free super evolve. And then the effect is whenever a 2-base allied follower enters the field, give this follower ward. Right, the reason why it's called like whenever a 2-base allied follower enters the field is because of course there's Fenny in Dragon, and like they would want to be able to proc with, they want this card to proc with like typically I think the Megalorcas, right? Even if they're 1 mana. So you're gonna get ward, right? Value wise is a 3 mana 2/1, so I don't really like it value wise. I'm not gonna lie. Value wise it's kind of bad, but I do think there might be a more fish deck support, right? Because right now we have Megalorca, Merman, Neptune, and like a Ocean Rider, right? We might get more fish like a deck support, right? Alongside Meg, and hey, maybe it could actually be like a deck of its own, straight up. But on its own, 3 mana 2/1's kind of a bad stat, man. Like the Ocean Rider is 3 mana 1/1 plus a 2/2 and give every Megalorca ward. So value wise, this kind of gets gap on that department. But let's see in the future. Maybe the cards they reveal will make sense. Right. Next up, we have Belial, Archangel of Cunning. Funfair, deal 10 damage to all other followers. So straight up, kind of like a cup, right? Kind of like a cup, literally just destroy everything. And then the SSBA effect is gain crest. Belial, Archangel of Cunning, right? Super evolving him reduces the crest by 1. And it's kind of like Izuya. The crest has a 4 cooldown, and the last word is deal 20 damage to the enemy leader. So, you might be like, wow, that's kind of insane. It's kind of like Izuya, right? So what will be the use for this? I would say it might be an alt wincon card for playing like Mode Abyss. Because Mode Abyss is really good at stalling out the game. But sometimes, like they get into these situations where they fight Jerry and they can't win against Jerry because Jerry just clears the board every time, so they can't stick anything. They have to rely on OTK setups, which sometimes like fails. Right, this card is gonna help in that regard for closing out games. So yeah, you have like they're like this card. If they use this or tech this card in mode abyss, I assume that it's meant to force people to play them in a way where you have to kill me first. Or like you have to rush me down. Of course, I think this will be slower than the OTK decks we currently have, like the Jerry OTK with Dragon, or the of course the Dimension Climb, Hawk D Climb with Rune. That's probably gonna be like those OTKs are probably faster. Izuja's probably gonna be faster. But it is nice to have an alternate solution for for closing out games with a control-ish like type of abyss deck. And worst case scenario, you can just use this as removal. 10 damage from the entire field, ladies and gents. That's pretty damn good. Alright, next up we have Vera. So Vera is a Havencraft card now. It used to be like in Bloodcraft. So I'm surprised they put her in Vera. It's probably the light version of Vera. Right? So her fanfare is select 2 enemies on the field and banish them. SSBA super evolve this follower. So think about it as, imagine an Odin without Storm, but it has like Gildar. It kind of has like a Gildaria thing going on. And the effect is it's a ward and it can't take more than 3 damage at a time. And of course, this card just dies to like any hard single target removal that you have, your Odins or your destroys, your banishes, right? Like hard removal will be forced by this card. And yeah, like you can't just like stat this, like you can't just like stat this. You have to kill this with Bane, you have to kill this with hard removal, a destroy, a banish. So yeah, as a defensive tool, I think this is fine, right? But this is not an offensive tool at all, I think. Yeah. I think this is not an offensive tool. This is probably going to be a defensive. Maybe Crest plays this as a form of removal because, you know, like they probably want like more like they probably want removal in a form of a banish instead of like damage and destroy, depending on like what cards are played in the meta. All right, so Portal Craft, we have Build the Bob, Fun Fair. Select one like enemies on the field and remove all abilities from them, and then deal them 9 damage. This is basically just banish. I'm surprised they didn't just like call it banish. So in GBF, Beelzebub, like in the Beelzebub summon, can strip a lot of bops from bosses. So they probably kind of wanted that thing going on where they strip the bops from the cards and then like it deals damage. So that's kind of neat, right? Instead of just like, oh, banish, right? They kind of like they kind of worded it in a different way. They kind of like execute in a different way. It will remove all abilities from them, which means that last words, like a last word effects, will be removed, and 9 damage is basically a destroy for most characters. Like Cerberus Super Evolve is destroyed through this, as in Zero Super Evolve is destroyed through this. Right, like there are some cards that don't get destroyed by this effect, like for example Daioyo, right? Because it's an 8-10 on Super Evolve, so there are cards that are like 10 HP, maybe a Wilbert that's already buffed by the Wilbert quest, and then you evolve it, becomes like a 10 HP unit. Those are like few exceptions that survives Beelzebub, but yeah, like this is a card that's a removal spell that acts like a banish that doesn't require an evolve. So that's nice. Finally, a legendary Portal Craft that doesn't require an evolve. That's crazy. And then they have this really, really neat thing. Give the enemy leader takes 1 more damage. So what are we talking about here? Takes 1 more damage. That means every single instance of damage that you do is +1. Right? So Egg is gonna benefit from this. Puppet is gonna benefit from this. It's gonna make it so any type of artifact deck gets better or closes out the games more consistently. Because the problem I think with Puppet, Artifact, and Egg is their ability to close out games post Evo, or like during the Evo phase, they're probably not dealing enough damage to finish off the game. So this card definitely helps in that regard. Maybe your last Super Evo, your Aksha or your Liam or your Orcus or your like Beta Spam, right? Like any of those win cons is gonna be like more consistently finishing the game off, right? And yeah, like as long as they don't give you a wide enough board where Beelzebub probably can't deal with everything, you should be able to finish up games more consistently. This is not a crest, by the way. This is actually just a debuff, straight up a debuff. So that's interesting. They're bringing back like permanent debuffs. It seems. Yeah, it doesn't say that there's a duration, so it's probably permanent. And lastly, we have Sandalphon. Of course, it's not a GBF collab without Sandalphon. Now, there is gonna be some complaints about this card because it brings back one of those mechanics that people didn't like. So first off, let's read off the card, I guess. It's a 6 mana 7/6 legendary, similar to like I think Bob, like similar to like Belial, I think. Oh no, it's like yeah, it's similar to Belial in stats. Activates in the deck at the start of your turn. If allied followers have evolved at least 6 times this match, invoke this card. So if you guys don't know what invoke means, it means that when a condition is met, the card will go from your deck to your hand. So the problem with invoking, of course, is if you draw the card, the invoke effect doesn't. Yeah, it's weird because you're losing one free card draw. So value wise, it's kind of weird. It's kind of shitty, right? And when the card is invoked, right? Gain the crest and return this card to your hand, right? The fanfare is do this 5 times, deal 2 damage to random enemies. So this is basically 6 mana 10 damage if 6 mana 10 damage if there's nothing on the field, right? This could deal 10 damage to the face because it doesn't say a random enemy follower, it says random enemy. Whenever a keyword is like this, it means it can hit the face. So that's awesome because we're gonna have like another card that can help out in finishing games. Gaining the crest when invoked, this kind of screams more help for Crest Haven, if anything. Because you evolve 6 times, you invoke this, you get another crest, and then this could just be like another finisher on top of like a lot like Gil Nelis and like yeah Gil Nelis, the artifact that deals 4 damage. Yeah, like this is just adding more stuff for Havencraft, to be honest. And the crest is at the end of your turn, restore 1 defense all allies. So it's basically like a supplicant like crest, but it's a crest nonetheless. So yeah, so far, like looking at these cards, of course we can't say anything yet about how the meta will like shape up because we're only been shown 10 cards. But if I were to choose winners already on like day 1 reveals, of course Crest Haven winning. They got like a double banish ward, like a removal card. They got like Sandalphon, which is a crest, and also like another form of like face damage that they can use. Then I think Sword, of course, Sword with this card. This card is a big dub for Sword, so yeah, that's insane. And Portal, maybe a sneaky winner, maybe a very sneaky winner, right? Like Beelzebub might actually make Portal great again. I mean, that's just my hope. Them probably still gonna get got by other classes, but Beelzebub shows a lot of potential, guys. So yeah, those are the cards that they revealed. The other crafts like Rune, Haven, Sword, and Portal, I think are like the biggest winners. Dragon, Abysscraft, and Forest, we'll have to see if they get like really good cards like for their like existing decks, or if they get like an entirely new deck altogether. I'm really hoping on the side of like entirely new decks because I bet a lot of people would probably want to play a different archetype of their class at this point, yeah? Like especially Rune players, because especially me, because if I'm gonna play Rune, I'm gonna play Rune because of WAMDUS, I probably will want to play Earthright. So yeah, let me know what you think about the cards and the entire collab in general in the comments down below. If I missed something or if you have questions, feel free to comment down as well. Hope you guys like enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching this long. Yeah, sorry I yapped a lot this time. I'm just really excited for this collab, everybody. But yeah, like hope you guys have a nice day and I'ma see you in the next video. Bye.